Good morning, good morning. Day 2, New Hampshire case. Pregnant mother and her baby deceased at the hands of this man, allegedly. But you know, he's on trial. First degree murder. The victim was about to give birth a few weeks, anytime. She was around 36 weeks or so. And her life and her baby were taken. She was beaten. Her stomach had all kinds of bruising or footmarks on it. And this is the animal who has a record going back 20 years. A registered sex offender. You know, shouldn't be around kids once that kid was born. Living in those conditions.
Good morning, sir. Can you please come forward and step up to this chair here?
But this is New Hampshire. William Kelly. And this marks the first time New Hampshire has charged someone with murder in the death of a fetus, and it is being closely watched.
Good morning. If you could please start by introducing yourself to us and spelling your name for the court.
Sure. It's Kevin Houle, Kevinhoule.
Where do you live?
In Middleton.
Did you ever live in Ossipee?
Yes, sir.
Did you own property in Ossipee?
Yes, sir.
What property was that?
332 Water Village Road and 324 Water Village Road.
Could you pull that mic close to you?
Sure. Testing. Can you hear me? Okay.
So I'll ask again, what property did you own?
332 Water Village Road and 324 Water Village Road. Is that too close?
Oh, here we go. Here we go with that mic. I'm not used to it. Just don't keep touching it.
So you mentioned two numbers.
Still can't hear him.
Yeah.
Water Village Road, and
332, correct.
was there a primary residence that you lived in at 324 Water Village Road?
At the top of the hill, yes, sir. Yeah.
And did the lot for 332 Water Village Road abut that property?
It did, about 500 feet away.
You said 324 and your house was at the top of the hill, was 332 at the bottom of the hill?
Correct.
About how far away from each other were they?
I'd say 500 feet.
Was there a structure at the bottom of the hill at 332 Water Village Road?
Yes.
What type of structure?
It was a trailer with an addition built onto it.
Did it have a bathroom?
It did.
Did it have running water?
It had gravity-fed spring water.
So not it's fed from a spring, but not necessarily indoor plumbing.
Correct.
Did it have electricity?
It did. Yeah. Yep.
Ugh.
Yes, sir.
Hang on for just a moment. I would just like our monitor to
Oh my God.
so that we can hear Mr. Houle, but
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody can hear nothing.
Is that better? Right there.
Well, we can't even hear the prosecutor asking any
So
questions.
was that structure at the bottom of the hill fenced in?
Yeah, it was correct. It was fenced. Yeah, the whole property was fenced.
Did you also keep animals on your property?
Yeah, I have registered Katahdin sheep. They're hair sheep.
Where were they located?
They went the whole 8 acres.
So they would roam?
Yeah.
Do you know a man named William Kelly?
I do indeed.
How long have you known Mr. Kelly?
I'd say about 20 years.
Do you see Mr. Kelly in the courtroom here today?
I do.
Could you point him out for us and just identify something he's wearing?
Right there with a white shirt and a gray tie.
That's the record reflected with identified.
Yes, he did.
Was he renting that structure from you on December 17th of 2023?
Yeah, he was.
About how long before that did he start renting?
I'd say about a year and 3 or 4 months.
Would he help you out on the property while he was there?
He did, yeah. He was helpful with the hay, the grain, sheep, fencing, farm things.
Did you pay him to do that?
Well, he's paid $300 a month in rent, so it was
So the deal was sort of he helps you out and he gets a cheaper rent?
correct.
How often would you see the defendant during that about year-long period he was renting from you?
Mostly every day.
When would you see him?
In the morning for coffee.
Would he come up to your house? Would you go down to him?
He'd come up top.
To your knowledge, did the defendant ever have a job while he was renting from you?
No, he didn't.
Did he ever have a car?
He did it first, but then didn't.
So
So on
in
the 17th of December, he didn't.
In December, he did not?
No.
How would he get around if he needed to leave the property?
I believe it was fast cab out of Conway.
So you'd have to call for rides?
Right, yeah.
Would you sometimes give him rides to run errands?
I did, yeah, I would.
Was anyone else living with the defendant at the bottom of the hill while he was renting from you?
Yes, not at first, but yeah,
Was that a man or a woman?
it was a woman.
About how long was she there with the defendant?
I'd say about a year.
Did the defendant ever introduce that woman to you?
He did once when I brought them both to Hannibal.
After that, did he ever bring her up with him to have his morning coffee with him?
No,
Did he ever bring her with him when you would drive in to run errands?
no, just
About how many times would you say you saw that woman over the course of the year and change that you rented from him?
I'd say probably a half dozen times.
Are you now aware that a woman was found dead at 332 Water Village Road on December 17th?
I am, yes.
You mentioned earlier that the defendant would come up to your house most mornings for coffee. Did he come up to your house that morning?
He did.
About what time was that?
Around 8:30, 9.
And how long did he stay?
About probably 45 minutes to an hour.
After he left your house that morning, did you ever see him again?
Not until today.
Did you hear anything going on at the bottom of the hill that morning?
No, sir.
Is that unusual? Can you typically hear anything that's going on down there?
No, I can neither hear nor see the road from the top.
One moment, Judge. That's all I have for you right now. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Cole, just a couple additional questions, all right? I saw you looking for the exit. You're almost out. All right, so you've known Mr. Kelly for a while,
Yes, sir.
and you gave a statement to the police on this case on actually the day of this incident when they came in and they wanted to talk to you.
There were some detectives from Troop E that spoke with me, yeah.
And they set up their recorder and they talked to you and asked you about your knowledge of him, about what you may have observed. Just wanted to get the same kind of idea that the jury's trying to get about what you knew about this incident, right?
Correct.
And one of the things you concluded that interview with was saying how shocked and horrified you were about this whole thing.
Yeah, I thought it was a pit bull that did something malicious.
Excuse me?
I thought maybe it was a pit bull. I got a text message from a neighbor and said, Kevin, do you know that there's an ambulance in your bottom driveway? And I didn't know because I couldn't see him. That's what I thought. Maybe the pit bull went rogue. You know, pit bulls kill their owners every day. You read it in the newspaper.
And tell me about this. What was this pit bull's name? Chance?
Pardon me?
What was this pit bull's name? Chance?
I believe it was.
All right. Little dog, big dog?
Pitbull go
Full
rogue.
size. I didn't pay much attention. It's my least favorite breed of dog.
Why is that?
For their reputation.
The other thing that shocked and horrified you about
Thought a pit bull went rogue.
was it didn't fit
Okay.
with your relationship with Billy.
Correct.
Fair to say, the way you indicated it was that he had never been aggressive to you.
No, he said words. He raised his voice, but I think most people, even neighbors, we have little disagreements, but tomorrow's another day.
So nothing that raised red flags like this is a violent dude, I'm worried about this guy, nothing like that.
Correct.
Now, we saw, when we looked at the pictures of the scene, a couple things. We saw that there at one time looked to be some cameras down on that structure. Had you placed those there?
I did quite a while ago, yeah.
So that wasn't Billy trying to like keep an eye on around or doing anything weird. That
Oh
was-
no, those were my cameras, and they weren't that great a quality. I upgraded to Blink, which gave a better picture later on, though. But there were no cameras down there. Well, Billy,
Okay, so those were no longer active.
they weren't active
They
now.
won't help us out about figuring out what we
Correct.
And you also said that you had some other livestock. You said there were Katahdin sheep.
Katahdin, yeah, correct, yeah, hair sheep.
In those, and I'm going to get the wrong names right for the females and males. What's the females called?
A ewe, EW,
Okay.
EWE,
And then there was also a ram.
correct. That would be the male.
All right. And that ram was also kept with access to the property most of the time.
He was separated.
Okay. And why was he separated?
Well, the gestation for a sheep is 5 months, and I never really put the ram in with the ewes until December for May lambs, because winters in Ossipee are pretty rough when it's 40 below zero in February, where they would normally be born.
You're kicking the thing inadvertently.
Oh, sorry, I haven't touched it though.
I can tell. It's all right. I'll be gentle with you. So just so I can hear you, that's why I was saying that. So is the ram also a powerful animal?
Is he also what?
A powerful animal?
Oh, yeah, yeah, he's probably 300 pounds, yeah.
He has horns.
No, he didn't. No, he's naturally pulled.
Okay. Have you told the different workers on the property, and we'll hear from Mr. Stout later, who's cutting some trees for you, right? Mr. Jeremiah Stout?
Oh, Jeremiah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And were they told to kind of keep away from that ram because it might not go well for them?
Well, yeah, he's a ram, and you can't trust any ram or any whole unneutered male cow, any farm animal that could be potentially dangerous.
Now, the jury's going to be able to see a video that the police took of the property at that time and everything that was around there. But if you could characterize it for them as well. There was a lot of difference, debris, for lack of a better term, right, around the structure that Billy and Christine were living in. Right?
I don't know what debris, I mean, I'm a maximalist, which is different than a hoarder, but, you know,
No,
it's
I'm not
essential.
saying it's a hoarder.
Well, you know, my grandparents lived through the Depression, and rule number one is never throw anything away that's useful.
And there was a lot of things that weren't thrown away.
But there was a lot of things that were useful, too.
Yeah. And could you characterize, the jury will see it as well. There was a lot of metal, a lot of fencing.
Well, fencing was essential.
And so that's one of the areas where, like the old fencing, where that would it would remain after you weren't using it or when it was not set up as active fencing. Is that correct?
Remain attached to like trees to keep the sheep out of the road.
And your emphasis at that point, fair to say, was the collection, as you're saying, a maximalist of keeping things that may have value, not of keeping a certain order or safety protocol to the property value.
Well, I guess for anyone else to look at it, it might be disordered or disorderly, but I mean, I knew everything was.
A little bit of a maze to get through, right? Fair?
Pardon me?
A little bit of a maze to get through.
No, I wouldn't. I would disagree with that.
Okay.
I mean, there were a series of gates and there were fences. You know, because before the sheep, I raised German Shepherd dogs, world-class German Shepherd dogs, and sometimes I had 6 adults at a time. So that was a reason for the high fence.
Makes sense. So a lot of property that you have retained in that general area. Fair?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Now, also, it strikes me that as far as your arrangement with Billy, you were trying to be conscientious and you were trying to be helpful with him.
Correct. He came unsolicited.
And you established certain rules for him. You said to him that, listen, I can't have you living there if you're using substances.
Correct.
And you had breakfast with him every day.
Well, no, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I don't eat breakfast.
You met with him at breakfast time.
Correct.
And it was your assessment that he abided by those rules that you laid down for him.
Pretty much, except for he transgressed one rule, which is no friends or associates. And
And it was
Christine was there for 6 months before I knew she was there.
So that was against your
Better judgment. Yeah.
Because she used a little bit more electricity.
Well, after the furnace broke down, the electric heaters got plugged in, and the bill was $600 to $800 a month. So yeah, there was plenty of electricity, as much as what could be used off the grid.
So mightn't that be the reason why she didn't come up and meet you?
I don't know why.
If you believed or heard anything that was going on where anybody was in danger on your property, would you have intervened?
Oh, well, absolutely.
You wouldn't have turned a blind eye to that.
No, absolutely not. No, I would have talked to my neighbors. I would have conferred with them, or even Donald Babin, the chief of police. I would have spoke with somebody.
In a hot minute, right?
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about the 17th, that morning. You say that Billy came up as normal and was with you for about 45 minutes to an hour, about somewhere between 8:30 to 10.
Yeah, around 8:39.
And he stayed there for, you say, 45 minutes to an hour.
About that, yeah.
I think it's really important that we understand what his state of mind may have been or what it wasn't. So let's go through that. He appeared as he would normally to you on these mornings he would meet?
As usual, nothing extraordinary. I mean, normal is only a selection on a washing machine. It was as usual. Come up for coffee, and we'd talk about what was going to get done for the day: feeding, watering, hay, grain, ongoing fencing.
So it was a normal conversation you had on this
It was
occasion?
the usual conversation, correct?
No unusual excitement or agitation on his part?
No, absolutely not.
No appearance of intoxication?
No, no,
No nervousness?
no,
No agitation, racing thoughts, anything like that?
no.
Anything about his hands, his body that you looked at and you're like, well, there's some scrapes, something that made it look like he'd been in some kind of a ruckus?
No, no, not at all.
Nothing at all when you think of it in retrospect, knowing what you know then and knowing what you know now, that set off any type of alert to you that anything at all was other than normal?
It was business as usual. Everything was normal.
Thank you.
I do have some redirect judgment. Can we approach before that?
I wish they get the sound better. You could just hardly hear anybody. Definitely need your earbuds in. I put the captions on, but they're out of sync as normal because you can't pick up the words. Number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have some matters that I need to discuss with the lawyers, and I'm going to briefly excuse you. I'm going to ask you to retire to the deliberation room.
Judge has matters.
And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. As soon as we can, we'll keep you posted if it's long. Please remember my usual instructions during this break, not to discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Don't listen to anything, don't read anything about the case, don't look anything up about the case. So we'll see you as quickly as we're able. Thank you.
All right, security.
Right, Mr. Hoole, you're free to step down, sir, and I'll ask you kindly to continue while I discuss some matters with the lawyers. I'm afraid I can't allow you to leave yet because we're going to need to bring you back, all right?
Sure.
All right, thank you very much, sir. And everyone may be seated, thank you. Okay, Mr. Hoole has left the courtroom, so I wanted to, at the bench, I was about to ask Attorney Newkirk why do you believe the state would not be able to cross-examine the information that you elicited about knowing about the other information that he knew as reflected in that interview transcript.
So it may come down to looking back at the transcripts, for lack of a better term, of exactly what I said, because what I said, Your Honor, was specifically tailored, as I've indicated in the argument at the bench, to comments he made to the police, and I will refer the court to the counsel again for the record We have transcripts here, and I'll read it. Page 24 of the transcript of his interview with the state police, the incident on line 17. Mr. Houle indicated, this is absolutely horrible and shocking to think, because Billy has never been aggressive to me. You know what I mean? He's always treated me, I guess, kind of like a father figure, although he never listened to me. So my questioning was narrowly tailored to talk about Mr. Houle's personal experiences with Billy and his treatment towards him. So Your Honor would, I believe, be able to allow the state to cross-examine is if I gave a misleading impression to the jury, which would arguably then allow them to bring in otherwise impermissible or inadmissible evidence.
Well, what other effect could the statement that you elicited from Mr. Houle have, other than as character evidence that Mr. Kelly is not an aggressive person?
Is very specific factual evidence that in their relationship with one another, he had not been aggressive to him. And that's how the witness answered. The witness said, listen.
But what other inference could the jury draw? What other relevant inference could the jury draw from that, except that Mr. Kelly is not an aggressive person, and therefore, because he was not aggressive toward Mr. Houle, he was not aggressive toward Ms. Falzone.
I didn't ask about his reputation in the community. I didn't ask about
Got a
his
criminal record.
overall knowledge of Mr. Kelly's reputation as to aggressiveness. I asked about his personal experience. If the state or the court thought that that was not relevant, in this case, the state should have objected to it. So I am eliciting the relationship they had with one another, the observations that Mr. Houle made about the times on his property, which was later dovetailed into my questions about whether he had heard any incidents, whether he would respond conscientiously to hearing any type of argument or any type of sounds of violence that occurred. So what I was doing was creating for the jury the indication that Mr. Houle was cognizant of his relationship with and the tenors of that relationship with Mr. Kelly. He answered honestly in saying, listen, I've never had any aggression. We've had some cross words with one another at certain times, but nothing out of the normal and no violence. Then I tied into this particular incident in what the state, right, through their rhetoric in this case, are trying to indicate that he somehow, because he is a domestic violence abuser, has squirreled away Christine Falzone in this hole and basically kept her there, beat her, done horrible things to her, ad infinitum for the entire period he's there. It's important for me to try to indicate a couple things. Again, that this is a man who is observant of his property, who is responsible and conscientious, who is observing the actions of the individual he's with, who's not just looking at him in a certain way because they have coffee together every morning, but who is assessing his character in that moment on his property with open eyes. And he gave me that answer. He said, listen, I had arguments with him, but in my interaction with him here at this time, he is not violent. So for that then, to allow the state to talk about allegations and charges of domestic violence for which the witness has absolutely no personal knowledge is incredibly prejudicial. It doesn't address any narrowly tailored and clear impression that I gave to the jury in this particular incident. So I think Your Honor is inviting the jury at that point to speculate about incidences which are not relevant to this, which are unduly prejudicial, which this witness has absolutely no personal knowledge of other than the nature of an allegation. And they will not change that witness's ultimate impression of the very specific question I asked him, which was of their dealings with one another. I didn't come out with this question out of nowhere. The state police asked the question. I asked the same one.
The question is not just the interactions with the defendant that day. It was, you were shocked by this, and you were shocked because you have never known him to be an aggressive person. He has never been aggressive with you. And while the question may have been, he was never aggressive with you, the only imports that the jury could take from the fact that he was shocked he did something like this because he was not aggressive with me was, I was surprised because he is not an aggressive person. That is the only inference the jury can draw from that question. That is what it's being offered for, to say that the defendant is not an aggressive person, and that is why Mr. Houle was so surprised when this happened. So that does, in fact, open the door to both to impeach Mr. Houle with his knowledge of prior domestic violence offenses, as well as to counter the character evidence that has now been introduced portraying Mr. Kelly as a non-aggressive person.
Anything further?
No, I think it holds. Again, it seems to me, again, kind of going meta on this a little bit. The state has a great deal of evidence which they're going to present in a compelling manner in this particular case. To take a side road into an entirely bombastic area, which is absolutely unnecessary for the prosecution of their case, to open up a whole area of inquiry, another feature of the case, another, you're talking about another person, another alleged victim, another incident, through a witness who just said, my dealings with him, in response to a narrowly tailored question, my dealings with him did not involve aggression. That's it. Again, if what they wanted to do was present, if you or the court or the state believe that to be irrelevant for my purpose, which was just to show their dealings with one another at that period in time. Because listen, what I was looking for was a reputation about him. We got a guy who had drug problems. Had a guy who's been arrested before. Clearly, his reputation in general is something that has vacillated and changed over time. Why would I want to get into his general reputation? I wouldn't.
Well, I understand that, but I will say that as I was sitting here, watching the witness and listening to the cross-examination, that question did come on the heels of I got a text message from my neighbor that there was an ambulance at the bottom of the street, and I thought, there was a pit bull there. I was shocked by this, and then the question was, had he ever been aggressive to you? No, he hadn't. I do think the impression was left that this gentleman believes, well, Billy could not have done this because he's not an aggressive person. So I do think that it left that impression. I think that's the impression that the jurors, having heard the evidence as I did, I think they would draw that impression. So I am going to allow the state to cross-examine only with the statement that Mr. Hool made in his own interview. I'm not opening the door to other instances of conduct, but just what Mr. Hool's knowledge of reputation of his character for being aggressive or non-aggressive may be. I'm going to limit it to that extent, to his own statement from that interview transcript. And again, I think that is a reasonable exercise of my discretion here because of the.
I understand your ruling, but if we review the page of the transcript that I have in this sidebar, if there's a potential hornet's nest that it goes into it, because it's all speculative, because Mr. Hool wasn't there, he doesn't have personal knowledge of these things, so these are all things that he heard, right? Including line 14. Well, no, I guess he paid thousands of dollars to get off of that one. I forgot her name. Maybe that was such and such. So if the state, if you're
Rule 405A says that when evidence of a person's character or trait is admissible, which I found that it is here for the reason stated, it may be proved by testimony about the person's reputation or by testimony in the form of an opinion. So, yeah, I mean, you can respond to it, but I think it is unfair to the state to leave that impression hanging out there that this couldn't have been Billy because he was not aggressive. And at least to clarify what Mr. Hool meant by that. He hadn't been aggressive to me, but I have no idea whether, I think that they can do that, and they can do that by making reference to his own statements. On recross, if he says something that is fairly, rebutted by or met by something else that he said, that you can bring that out. But I do think that it would be unfair to leave that to preclude the state from any response to that cross-exam, that statement that Mr. Hool made on cross-examination.
So you're going to allow them to, I don't know if they, I'm just trying to cover the bases before.
Yeah.
Elicit this thing about paying $1,000 to get off when he's represented by a public defender, and then that would, do you understand the way I'm thinking?
So I can say, Your Honor, I don't intend, on redirect, my intention is to ask, you said he was not aggressive to you, but you did tell the state police you are aware he has a history of domestic violence. That was against, do you believe, another woman, not Christine? That would be the extent of my question.
If that's what he said, and if leading him to that will help stay out of the hornet's nest that defense counsel fears, then I will allow him to be led in that manner.
Perhaps, and my concern, again, I object to Your Honor's ruling.
I understand you.
And I think it opens the door to again, I think that the states, and I understand your ruling.
Yeah.
But I would argue that the state's retort, if they believe that any mistaken impression is generated, would be to say to the jury in argument, listen, all he said was that their relationship was not an aggressive one. He didn't say anything at all about his knowledge in the community, about his this and that, about his knowledge of other things. And that would be the proper way to do it. He doesn't, because my question
I
is
know,
so
but
very
that precludes them from presenting evidence. It makes them argue without evidence that they have, to which I do believe the door was opened to by inquiring, particularly in the immediate context, again, that question was not asked in your general lead up, how long had he lived there? How long had he known him? Had you ever had any, friction with him or anything like that? No, he was never, he was always pleasant with me. It came right on the heels of asking about this incident, and weren't you shocked by it? And he agreed that he was. And, and then you elicited a statement. He had never been aggressive to me. I think that the whole way it unfolded did leave that impression. And I don't think that it's fair to preclude the state from offering, in a limited way, as we've discussed, evidence that they have that's known to this witness. I don't think you have to make them argue with one hand tied behind their back when there is evidence that's known to this witness, or it's at least reputation evidence, and they can say, or you can say, all you know about that is hearsay, right? But it is, that's what reputation evidence is. So I will allow it in the manner I've just described. And again, I realize the risks there. I'm sitting here watching the trial very, very carefully. I believe that it's an appropriate exercise of my discretion here, with the limits that I stated that counsel for the state understands.
The only other idea I would float is because of the potential of courting in this trial, depending on what he says, if he doesn't narrowly answer the question that the state narrowly tailors to him. I don't know if I would request that a blood here outside the presence of the jury occur, where he's asked those questions, we see what his responses are, and then we do the real run in front of the jury. Because if he comes out with something the state does not anticipate, which he has been wanting to do, I believe, then this whole thing could be for naught.
Well, I think the state can control that by a leading question, and I will control him if he starts wandering out, outside the lines.
But what is said cannot be unsaid.
Well, again, I don't. We know what he has said in the interview. Counsel is going to elicit that statement. I don't think a long voir dire is really necessary here, but my finger will be on the button. All right? Please bring the jurors back in. And please bring Mr. Rule back in. Thank you.
Oh dear. Opening the doors. They gotta watch what they say. This witness knows more. Of course they do. Of course they do.
Thank you, Mr. Houle. You can step right back up here, sir. Thanks for hanging around for us. Thank you, everybody. You may be seated, and the state may proceed.
Thank you. Just a few more questions for you. You talked with Attorney Newkirk. You said that when you first heard that a woman had died down the road, you thought it could have been a pit bull. Was that an assumption you were making?
Well, yeah, it was my own mind. Yeah, no, I thought that the pit bull had done the damage, that it had eaten one of the two humans, is what my original thought was.
But you didn't know what had actually
No,
happened.
I had no clue.
And you talked with Attorney Newkirk about the fact that the defendant was never aggressive with you. Do you know how he treated the woman who was living at the bottom of the hill?
I correct. He was never aggressive
That would
with
have
me.
been my first vote,
But no,
too.
I have no idea.
know?
But this is Attorney Newkirk here. Okay.
Oh my God, this
So you don't know how he treated the woman?
sounds
No, sir.
terrible.
And when you were interviewed by state police, you told them that the defendant had never been aggressive with you. And I'm not asking for specifics here, but you also told them that you were aware the defendant had a prior history of domestic violence.
Oh, yeah, I've known him for 20 years. Yeah.
And you believe that incident was with someone else named Nicole, not Christine.
I thought Christine's name was Nicole. I don't know why I thought that, but I didn't have much association with her, so I didn't really know her name for sure.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. 20-year
Well, a
relationship.
minute ago you
I
said he
mean,
was a
It
good
was a
guy.
20-year relationship between you and
Give or take.
And during that relations, he treated you like a father figure.
Yeah, so I tried to help. I give free advice to anybody who asks for it. They don't always take it, but
In that effort, when he said he needed a roof over his head, you gave him a roof over his head.
well, it was that or he was going to pitch a tent in my backyard, is what he said.
So
So,
you worked out an arrangement with him?
pardon me?
You worked out an arrangement with him?
He did, yeah.
And when he brought his girlfriend
He did.
in that residence, you told him, hey, the rent should be higher if she's here.
No, I didn't know she was there for 6 months.
Right, but then you found out, right?
Yeah.
And being the father figure that you were, you didn't kick him out. You let him stay.
Well, yeah, he had no place to go. And where's he going to find a place for $300 a month? You know,
Thank you.
using $800 in electricity. But anyway, well, the heater
Really?
broke down, and
Oh, my God.
then there was a monitor heater that needed a filter cleaned. And
I think where I'm going with it is even despite those
That's a
logistics,
deal.
you had a heart about it, right?
is it? I'm sorry, I
I said,
didn't.
despite those logistics, you had a heart about it.
Yeah, I didn't want anybody to be out in the cold. Yeah, including Christine. I didn't want anybody to be homeless.
Thank you.
Including Christine.
Mr. Hall, thank you very much for being here today, for your testimony.
You didn't know she was there. You just said.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
God.
State may call its next witness.
State calls Allison Frost.
Rent was 300 and he used about 800 in electricity and heat. Hey, that's a deal, don't you think? That's not really much of a deal, is
Frost, can you please remain
it?
standing for just a moment?
That's crazy.
And raise your right hand. You solemnly swear.
That was costing him money.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing
It
but
don't
the
work like that.
truth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please start by introducing yourself and spelling your name for the court reporter?
Yes, my name is Allison Frost, ALLISONFROST,
Where do you live?
337 Water Village Road in Ossipee, New Hampshire.
How long have you lived there?
10 years.
Do you live with anyone?
I do.
Who?
My husband and my 3 children,
How old are your kids?
11, 9, and 6.
And how long have you been married to Ethan?
12 years.
Have the two of you lived at 337 Water Village Road together that entire time?
Yes.
Were you living there in December of 2023?
Yes,
Where is 332 Water Village Road in relation to your house?
across the street.
Who owns that property?
Kevin Hool,
And can you tell us generally where 332 is on that property?
directly across the street, about 50 feet from my front door.
Is there another house at the top of the hill above 332?
Yes.
Who lives there?
At this moment, I'm not sure, but it was Kevin Hool.
In December of 23,
Yes.
it was Mr. Hool?
Yep.
In December of 2023, who lived at 332 at the bottom of it?
William Kelly.
Can you describe the structure he was living in?
Small green shack-like structure.
And from December of 2023, how long had William Kelly lived there?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, how long had Mr. Kelly lived at the bottom of the hill as of December of 2023?
Steadily, about 2 years, but before that, a handful of times.
Did you have occasion to interact with him while he was living there?
A few times, maybe?
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
Yes,
Do you see him here in the courtroom today?
yes.
Can you just point him out for us and identify something he's wearing?
A gray tie and a white shirt.
As the record reflected, witnesses identified the defendant.
Will so reflect.
During the couple years that the defendant was living across the street from you, was anyone else living with him?
We had seen a female there from time to time.
Did you ever meet that female?
No.
Did you ever speak with
Cutting
her?
your lips.
Did
Oh
you
my
see
God.
her outside of the
Snuck in.
residence hall?
In the summer of 2023, yes. In the winter, not as much.
About how many times total would you say you saw that female over the course of them living there?
I would say almost daily. To put a number on it, probably 100.
The female?
Yes,
And you said that that was more frequent in the
in the summer,
What about the
yes.
winter?
Yep,
Would you see her in the winter?
I saw her once.
I want to talk specifically about December 17th of 2023. Did you hear anything coming from across the street that morning?
I did,
What did you hear?
yelling,
Could you tell who was yelling?
yes.
Who was it?
William Kelly.
Could you make out what he was yelling?
No.
About what time did you hear that yelling?
About 9:30 in the morning.
Are you able to see what's going on over there across the street at all?
Not really,
Why not?
because there's things in front of the windows and trees.
So did you see anything happening at the same time you heard the yelling?
No.
But you recognized the defendant's voice.
Yes.
Had you heard anything the night before that?
Yes.
What did you hear?
Yelling.
Was it the defendant yelling?
Yes.
And again, were you able to make out any of what he was saying?
No.
And were you able to see anything?
No.
When the defendant was yelling the night before, what was his tone like?
Angry.
And what about the morning of the 17th?
Angry.
One moment, Chief. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other attorney?
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Ross, just a couple questions.
Sure.
So you're living across the street, trying to raise a young family.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this shack across away from you, right? You have to, out loud. You have to, within the head nods, so I have to make you answer out loud.
We're
Okay,
keeping
yes.
a record of
Oh,
everything
yes.
that's said here, so it has to be verbalized so
Okay.
that it can be picked up. Thank you for understanding.
Yes.
And you've indicated that you would hear Mr. Kelly yell and grumble and do that quite frequently, right?
Yes.
This is kind of like a feature of his personality across the street from you.
Yes.
So his grumblings, his yellings on any particular day are a normal thing.
Yes.
So on the 17th of December, the day before, there was not some unusual tenor or tone to him yelling.
No.
Nothing unusual about your observations of him on that particular day, other than 5 days before, or 10 days before, or a month before.
No.
Okay. Now, during the cold weather months, you said you didn't see Christine out and about much.
No.
Okay, once maybe.
Yes.
But in the summer, you saw her moving on or about the structure that was there.
Yes.
And it's fair to say you try to be a pretty reasonable, conscientious person.
Yes.
Was there ever a time when you saw Mr. Kelly physically touch or abuse her?
No.
If you had ever observed that in the hundreds of times that you saw her out and about that property throughout the summer, what would you have done?
You didn't even see her hardly. You said you once.
Probably said something.
Or called the police, right?
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yes.
That is not something you would have abided then, nor that you would keep from this juror now. You'd let them know.
Yes.
So despite all the grumbling, all the yelling that you heard, you never saw at any time any indication of violence between Mr. Kelly and Ms. Falzone.
Not physical.
You heard yelling,
Yes.
but oftentimes you didn't hear the back and forth, you're saying.
No.
So you just heard a man yelling
Yes.
without contact.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
Ms. Ross, thank you very much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
This is really all about. Step down, please.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
State Coast Ethan Frost.
Morning, sir. If you would kindly step up here to this chair. And would you kindly remain standing for a moment and raise your right hand? Solemnly swear the testimony you give in this case and the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes, sir.
Morning. Morning. If you could start, please, by introducing yourself and spelling your name for the court report.
Ethan Frost, ETHAN-FROST,
Where do you live?
337 Water Village Road.
And we just heard from your wife, Allison. Do you live there with her and your kids?
Yes,
How long have you lived there?
I've lived there my whole life.
Were you both living there in December of 2023?
Yes,
And where is 332 Water Village Road in relation to your house?
directly across the street.
Who owns that property?
Kevin Hool.
Did, at that time, Mr. Wool have a house up the hill?
Yes,
Who was living at the bottom?
William Kelly.
Can you describe the structure he was living in for us?
It was kind of a shack that was attached to a trailer that with a lean-to off the back.
About how long had you been living there in December of 2023?
I'd say a couple years.
Over those couple of years, did you have occasion to interact with him?
Every now and again.
Would you recognize him if you saw him again?
Yes,
And do you see him in the courtroom here today?
yes I do.
Could you point him out for us and identify something he's wearing?
White button-up shirt, gray tie.
Does the record reflect he's identified the defendant?
It will reflect.
I want to talk with you specifically about December 17th of 2023. Was the defendant still living across the street from you at that time?
Yes.
Was there a woman living with him at that time?
Every now and again, didn't really see too often.
About when did you start seeing that woman?
I guess it was summertime of 23.
And between the summertime of 23 and December 17th of 23, about how many times would you say you saw her around the property?
2 or 3 times.
And on that day, December 17th, did you hear anything going on across the street that morning?
A little bit of yelling in the morning.
Could you tell who was yelling?
To me, it sounded like William Kelly.
And you've heard his voice before?
Yes.
So you recognize his voice as the one doing the yelling. Did you hear anything the night before?
I did not.
When you heard yelling the morning of December 17th, was it one voice? Was it multiple voices?
I only heard his voice.
And about what time was that?
8:30 probably.
What did the defendant's tone sound like when you heard that yelling?
Aggravated.
One moment, Judge. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Counsel?
Mr. Frost, just a couple questions.
Yep.
All right, so your ability to observe Christine, that's the
Do
name of the
these
woman.
people live outside or something?
It was relatively limited. You said you only saw her
All
about
this
3 or 4
yelling.
times.
Yep.
Your wife had seen her more. Is she around the property a little bit more in those hours?
Yeah.
In the time that you observed her, did you see her with Mr. Kelly?
Sometimes it was by herself, but I'm assuming he was there.
Did you ever, in any of those observations of them, observe him acting violently towards her?
Not that I saw.
If you had seen that, you would have done something about it.
Yeah.
No further questions.
Nothing further?
Mr. Frost, thank you very much for your testimony, sir. You're all done. Step out. You're welcome to leave.
Judge, next witness, maybe about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate that you've had a break already this morning, but everybody else in the court also needs a little breather. This seems to be a good time to do it. We'll take another 15-minute break for everybody to stretch their legs, use the facilities, freshen up a bit, and let's come back at 11:25. And then after that, we'll go for about another hour again before we take our lunch break. Please remember, as always, not to discuss the case with anyone during this short break. And don't listen to anything, don't read anything about the case, and don't look anything up about the case. We'll see you about 11:25.